Hey everybody, we got that phone call this morning. Today is another edition of a snow day lesson. Hey everybody, this is Jeff Meila from Governor Wolf Elementary School. I'm a 4th grade teacher and I've been teaching here for about 12 years. I've noticed through the time I've taught 4th grade that a lot of students, whether you're in 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, or beyond, sometimes have trouble with double-digit multiplication. So I thought that would make a great snow day lesson for us to review today. I'm going to show you 3 different methods. You can choose whichever method you like. They're all going to come up with the same product. Let's get started. The first one I have here is probably the algorithm that your parents, your older brothers and sisters may be most familiar with. We're going to do what I call the up and down way. What we're going to do here is start with 32 times 25. We're going to do 2 times 5 equals 10. To do that, I put my 0 there, and I'm going to carry my 1. My next step is 2 times 2, which is 4, plus 1 is 5. A lot of us remember those 2 steps. They're not too difficult. Here's the step that I find a lot of people forget about. We're going to now move into multiplying in the tens place. So we're going to put a placeholder 0 here. That's the step that a lot of people forget. This is what I call step 3 in my classroom, and my students sure know what step 3 is, believe me. Now I'm going to multiply the 3 in my tens place times the 5 in my ones place up top. 3 times 5 is 15. I'm going to put my 5 down again. And once again, I'm going to carry my 1. Notice I crossed out my previous one because the numbers aren't always going to be the same. Finally, the last step here, I'm going to do 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus this 1 is going to be 7. And the last part of my problem, I'm simply going to add my 2 partial products here. 0 plus 0 is 0. 5 plus 5 is 10. 1 plus 7 is 8. I just did a double-digit up and down multiplication problem and came up with the product of 800. Now, some people might not like this way. I have 2 more ways to show you. They're going to involve breaking the problem apart using place value. So let me get started. You'll notice I have the same problem written here. I also have 4 separate parentheses with multiplication signs inside there. What I'm going to do is take each place as it is and do a smaller problem. So in this case, I have a 2 in the ones place times a 5 in the ones place. That problem is going to be 2 times 5, and I'm going to get an answer of 10. Next, I'm going to take my 2 in the ones place, and I'm going to multiply it times this 2. But since this 2 is in the tens place, it doesn't mean just 2, it actually means 20. So the problem I'm going to be doing is 2 times 20. Do my basic fact, 2 times 2 is 4, and I have 1 0 at the end. So my partial product is 40. Now what I'm going to do is multiply all of my top numbers by my 3. My 3 is in the tens place, so it doesn't really mean 3, it really means 30. I'm going to do 30 times 5, because 5 is in my ones place, so 30 times 5. My basic fact, 3 times 5 is 15, and I have 1 0 at the end. I get a partial product of 150. Finally, 3 in my tens place, which means 30, times 2 in my tens place, which means 20. So it's going to be 30 times 20, and I'm going to do the basic fact, 3 times 2 is 6, and here I have 2 zeros to plug at the end. What I have here are 4 partial products. Partial products simply are part of the final product. So I'm going to put these 4 parts together to come up with my final product. And when I add all of my partial products up, I have 0. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 6 is 8. As you can see, we have the same product for both problems, done two completely different ways. The last way I'm going to show you seems to be a class favorite of mine. I prefer this way because I'm a very visual learner as well. I'm going to take a hybrid of what I did in the second problem and a little bit of what I did in the first problem and combine it into what I call the box way. As you can see, I have the same problem. I'm simply going to break up the problem and put it in the box. And here's what I mean by that. 25. I'm going to break up 25 into its place values of 20 and 5. Then I'm going to take 32 and I'm going to write that on the side. I'm going to take my 30 and my 2. I like to put my multiplication sign in the corner. And then I'm simply going to use this almost like the game Battleship, a coordinated grid, and figure out which numbers I'm going to multiply and put in each box. So the first one here, I'll take 1 from the top times 1 from the side, 20 times 30. I like to write the numbers in here so I know exactly what I'm doing. 20 times 30 equals 600. You can go to any box you want. There's no rhyme or reason to which box you do first, second, third, or fourth. So I'm going to do 5 times 30, 30 times 5, and I'm going to get a product of 150. Then I'll go down here. 5 times 2, 5 times 2 equals 10. And lastly, 20 times 2 equals 40. And now you're going to notice these 4 partial products are exactly the same as the 4 I got in the previous problem, just a different way to visualize it and see it. Then finally, I'm going to take my 4 partial products and add them up. So I have 600 plus 150 plus 40 plus 10. And when I add those up, I come up with the same product of 800. So now it's time for you to try one with me.
All right, so let's try a couple of these together with 3 different problems here. I'll show you the 3 different methods. The first one is 43 times 56. First step, 6 times 3 is 18. Put my 8 down, my 1 up top. 6 times 4 is 24, plus that 1 is 25. Don't forget step 3, which is add the 0. Step 4, 5 times 3 is 15. I'm going to put my 5 down and my 1 up top. And the last step, 5 times 4 is 20, plus the 1 is 21. The final thing I'm going to do is add my partial products to get a final product of 2,408. The next way is going to be the break apart way. So I'm going to break my problem into 4 smaller problems to help me solve it. The first one is going to be 6 times 3. 6 times 3 equals 18. The next problem that I'm going to do is going to be that 6 times 40. Remember, it's 40 because the 4 is in the tens place. And I get a partial product of 240. Next is 50 times 3. And that's going to get me a partial product of 150. And finally, 50 times 40 equals 2,000. And then again, I'm going to add my 4 partial products here for the same product of 2,408. Lastly is the box method. This is where I'm going to break my problem up based on place value and put it in my matrix to do 4 smaller problems. So I'm going to have my square, break it into 4 separate sections, and then what I'm going to do is take each place value and put it on top. So my 43 is going to break into 40 and 3, and my 56 is going to break into 50 and 6. Put my multiplication sign in the corner, and then I'm going to go around the box. The first box I'm going to do is 40 times 50 is 2,000. 50 times 3 equals 150. 6 times 40 equals 240. And 6 times 3 equals 18. I'm going to add up all 4 answers that I got in the box for the same answer as the previous two problems of 2,408. So here's a finished way of doing all three problems. There's no right way to do it. You're all going to come up with the same product no matter which way you choose. Pick one that works for you and run with it.
So that's a quick snow day lesson showing you 3 different methods to do double-digit multiplication. Find a method that works for you and stick with it, and you're sure to get the right answer. You can use the other methods to double-check yourself. I'm Jeff Meila from Governor Wolf Elementary School, 4th grade teacher. Thanks for watching.